Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. The meeting will be starting shortly. While we wait, let's learn more about Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 98 and 22. Channel 98 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 13, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well. Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. The meeting will be starting shortly. While we wait, let's learn more about Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channel.
Good evening. Welcome to the November 16th, 2021 meeting of the Exeter Budget Recommendations Committee. This evening we'll be talking about the water and sewer utility budgets. Before that, we will conduct introductions in our fully maxed state here, so people only recognize us from the nose up. I am Bob Kelly, the chair of the Budget Committee, as well as the chair of the Water and Sewer Subcommittee. Corey?
Evening, everyone. Corey Stevens, JD Hill Ave. I'm the chair of the Department of Public Works Subcommittee.
My name is Mark Fabian. I live on Epping Road, and I'm on the Water and Sewer Subcommittee.
Russell Dean, Town Manager.
Laura Zagopoulos, Accountant.
I have two of these. Do you know
Jonathan Perry, Public Works Director.
Matthew Burley, Water Sewer Manager.
Anthony Swan, 7 Marlborough Street, and serving on the Water and Sewer Subcommittee.
Nancy Belanger, Chair of General Government Subcommittee.
Anna Grazier, General Government Subcommittee.
Judy Rowan, Prentice Way, Chair, Police and Fire Subcommittee.
And with us remotely this evening is Kathy Corson. Can you introduce yourself? Unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hi, Kathy Corson. I'm on the Police and Fire, and it is not feasible for me to be there tonight.
Thank you. And are you alone in the room, Kathy?
I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with Kathy being remote, all votes this evening will be by roll call vote, just as a heads up. So we'll try to muscle through all of that. Again, tonight we're going to be talking about the water and sewer funds, the enterprise funds. Sorry about the lateness of the report, but they're fairly straightforward and nothing really too complicated that we were discussing that we can't discuss this evening. So without further ado, I will push forward into the water budget. With us this evening, again, are Jen Perry, the Director of Public Works, and Matt Berube, the Water and Sewer Managing Engineer, who will be able to answer any questions or articulate any discussions that we might have on specific items. So this is on page 1 of tab 4 in the overall budget book. And we did not have anything specific on the administration end of things. Just as an explanation, the consulting services is up due primarily to the fact that a lot of our lead service lines need to be replaced, and we are in the process of putting together the first part of a plan to address that. So that will require some additional consulting services over and above our standard sort of placeholder in the administration section. Any questions on that, or any other questions on administration?
So would that be an ongoing, Bob, at that point?
Well, it'll probably get higher because once we get into the weeds of exactly what needs to be done, it was just a directive. Jen or Matt, why don't you give us the background on that? But it'll probably be higher.
This is a federal Safe Drinking Water Act regulation that's addressing lead service lines and lead and copper regulation, and we have to assess what all service lines in the water distribution system, what is their material. Because if it doesn't just have to be lead, it could be galvanized pipe and it has to be treated as lead. So we have some records, especially for newer construction, but for older construction, we don't necessarily have data on what they are. Our approach has always been to use phosphate as a chemical treatment to passivate service lines and provide corrosion control, and that's been effective. We do lead and copper testing out in the distribution system, but because some other utilities haven't performed as well, haven't been as thorough in their corrosion control, haven't modified or checked their lead and copper testing after they've made changes in their treatment. There have been problems with lead getting to people in other utilities. And so they're ramping it up, making us all do a more stringent review of the actual materials in the pipe. So this is really the first year we've done some very preliminary work with a UNH student who assisted with some of the compilation of data, but we're moving into the next phase of getting actual tallies and on what is what and where are we going to have to focus our efforts.
So this just develops the plan, right? Sorry, Judy. And then there would be the replacement, which is probably somewhere else in our budgets.
Right, this does not reflect replacement at all.
And I wonder if the infrastructure bill that just passed had some dollars in it for lead replacement. Am I remembering?
Yes.
Anybody remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be part of the federal act, yes.
Yeah. So maybe that'll bring us some good fortune when we actually need to start replacing.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Be nice.
With any kind of luck. Judy?
Excuse me, this is a question for Russ, I believe. With the passage of the infrastructure bill, what is the expectation for the process of hearing what the town might qualify for with regard to this and other items and projects?
I don't think that book has been written yet, so I think we're in a waiting pattern, but we are in contact with our federal representatives to find out we're like everybody else, we're watching the money and where it's actually going to go. I'm sure that there's an allotment that will be dispersed to the state. That's typically how it works. And then from there, the state will offer up different programs, drinking water programs, wastewater programs, and that sort of thing. So we'll be keeping our eye on those.
So the information would primarily come through our congressional representatives first, and
yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions on admin? Laura, do you have the updated benefits total?
Yes, I do. $114,174. 114,174.
Great, thank you. And an updated admin total?
Yes, 436,509. 436,509.
Okay. Any further questions?
I would move those numbers if you need me to move them.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you. Moved and seconded. We will just go around the room here with a vote. We'll start with Chris. We just need to do a roll call vote.
Oh, aye.
Thank you.
On the admin total, correct?
On the admin total, 436,509.
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. Okay, on billing, I guess the most significant item that is either a reflection of past expenditures or future would be our changing over to another piece of software for the water and sewer billing called MuniLink. For those of you who might still be excited enough to be paying attention on our financial software, we've gone from Munis to MunisSmart, or MunisSmart to Munis, and now MuniLink on the water and sewer end of things. So this is the first year that we're starting with this. It's supposedly a much more user-friendly piece of software that will allow us to interact more efficiently with the ratepayers as far as questions about their usage and detecting leaks and things like that. So there's been a lot of research done on it, and supposedly it's a lot better than the general taxation software that we have. So that's what that is all about. Any questions on any of the billing items?
Bob.
Of course.
So again, just on that one, the $5,500 increase over the 2020 budget, if I can. Is that like a service agreement that we'll have every year, Jen? Or is this a one-time get MuniLink in place and we're done?
I believe it's every year because this is it's a maintenance cost.
Yeah.
So
So the whole thing is maintenance?
yes, maintenance and also our allocation for Munis, which is, part of the overall charges for Munis throughout.
Yeah, there is still some interaction with Munis.
Right, so this number is a combined number.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
good
is.
point.
Updated benefits total, Laura?
Yes. 50,394, 50394.
Okay. Any other questions on billing? Total for the FY22 budget, Laura?
192,374, 192,374.
So moved.
Thank you, Nancy.
Second. Sorry.
Judy seconds. Okay, Chris, how do you vote on that number?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ton?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. Okay, on distribution, there were a few areas that increased. The upshot of it is we have more facilities than we did several years ago, and many of them are less than 5 years old, or certainly less than 10 years old, so they're coming around their first cycle of major maintenance issues, replacing pumps and other things, and just trying to keep our system intact and try not to get to where it was maybe 15, 20 years ago, where we let things linger for a bit. So some of the maintenance items for both building and equipment and other things have gone up slightly. Vehicle maintenance is up slightly because a number of the vehicles, the high usage vehicles, have been deferred over the years, so the maintenance costs have been slightly higher. Under tank maintenance, 55059, that's a reference to another item we'll be talking about in capital outlay. Suez is a company that does contract maintenance of water and wastewater facilities, and we already have them on board to basically maintain our water tanks, so that it takes the burden off of our staff, as well as having to contract out on an emergency basis if there are any repairs or upgrades to make to those facilities. And it's worked out pretty well. This is, year 4 or 5 with Suez, I think, on the tanks?
I think it's year 5.
It's 5.
Next year will be our.
Yeah, we've had them for a while, and it's worked out, it's really worked out nice. What they usually do is there's a higher first couple of years, and then it trails off. So, and we've done, back 6-7 years ago, when we were first looking into this, I remember sitting with the Public Works folks, and we all crunched some numbers, and we sort of figured that there's no way that we, as a small town, could ever adequately maintain those facilities, especially if there was an emergency or a problem. And, this is almost like a, sort of an ongoing insurance or warranty for our facilities. So that's the reference of what that tank maintenance is. And then on fire alarms, our fire department used to run all of our fire alarms at our various facilities, water and sewer. You'll see the same item on the sewer budget. And now we are doing it in-house, or at least paying for it.
Yeah, we do contract with Burn Security, and it doesn't run through dispatch anymore. It actually runs directly through us. So.
Right.
So what ended up being the solution that you guys put in place for that, right? Because you had to put a new infrastructure in for all those stations, or?
We had to put in fire alarm panels in the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
not every building, but specific, it had to be large enough building that required it.
Yeah. So we had a reduction probably in the number of ones we're monitoring from where we were when when the fire department was doing it, but we've picked the ones that are.
No. Did we drop any of them? No.
All of them are, yeah.
No.
And so is the $3,500 annual fee or from Burns?
Yes, and that will be in perpetuity.
Yeah, if you go back in the fire budget, that was in there every year.
And you'll see this come up in treatment for our treatment facilities and also in sewer, same in the collection and treatment.
On the GIS software, 55136, if this People GIS that we are just starting, it's a piece of software that sort of allows just an in-house database collection of all of our facilities. We've typically used it for piping and underground facilities, but we're starting to go to the next level and actually input a lot of information on our facilities. And this, why don't, if one of you could just speak to it really quickly as to how it's really worked so far. It's my understanding is it's been great.
Yeah, and Matt's really been the lead person on it, so I shouldn't steal his thunder. I'll let him talk about it. But, this is really the approach the town has to take as far as what we call asset management, where we're really protecting our facilities, keeping adequate records on those facilities, and using it for planning purposes. But Matt has been the direct liaison with People GIS. Would you like to brief us?
Yeah, People GIS has evolved. We've been working with them probably for better part of 10 years now, and before it was just a GIS, mapping software in a work order system, and now we've brought it into an asset management world where all the assets are going to be able to be accessible through a tablet. It's all an internet-based page now. It's not a software, so all the guys out in the street can access everything, make their work orders if they see a problem in the street, and we'll be able to grade our assets. So when I say assets, that's going to start taking a look at all the pump stations, all the treatment plants, and we're going to input all the pumps and pieces that actually have some worth and value to us so that we can start trying to get a bigger, broader picture, 30-year scope. So you saw maybe some presentations last year, maybe even in 2 years now, but they were talking of $1 million, 1.2 million a year just to try to keep up with your system to be able to replace things in 30 years. So it's that type of basis that we are trying to implement and to keep getting the funding that you all now hear about. You are required to have an asset management system for anything that the state helps fund.
Excellent. Yeah, and we're hoping that as we look into new facilities, both public safety as well as potentially a public works garage and whatever associated with the rec department, of leveraging our knowledge that we've developed this year into potentially expanding this to townwide. So it's pretty exciting. It's sort of getting into the 21st century type of thing.
The building permits are already using it too, and they have been for like 2 or 3 years. So yeah, the facilities is another one where we'll be able to track our buildings in a different way, and all the stuff in each room becomes an asset within that building.
So with regard to the, if I may just wade into DPW for just a sec, have you had a chance to look at it and what it might be able to do for that conditions assessment, the sort of the vertical assets, the buildings, and keeping that inventory, or have you not gotten that far with it?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at it a little bit. I haven't talked to Chris Weeks yet. I've talked to Kevin from People GIS a little bit. And as far as conditions assessment, I don't know what to the level that a building and all the codes that uses, but if we're looking to look at the building as a whole and look at the bigger picture, like the furnaces and things like that, maybe some of the windows have square footages and stuff, those type of things I think will easily be done. I don't know to what level. I don't think it's going to be as specific as those, as an off-the-shelf building one, but it's going to be robust enough to give you cost analysis. Sure. And be able to give you reports of, if you were going to replace all the carpet in this building, you'd know how much square feet you had to budget for or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Any other questions on it? Great, thanks. On metering, a couple of things. First of all, the price increase is primarily due to just the increase in cost of brass, which is what the meters are made out of. We have a guy on, a gentleman as part of our staff who basically rebuilds and makes or does all of our meter work, and is evidently very good at it, and is a real asset for the town to have him instead of having to farm it out. And basically what we're trying to do is sort of do the last little bit of catch-up over the next few years. We did half our meters 5 or 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and we've spent the last period of time trying to get all of the rest of the meters that bond issue did not cover up to current standards, and especially being able to integrate with this new software that we're using. So that is the reason for the jump from 2020 to this year, and then the increase into next year is, my understanding, is primarily the increase of brass. But that ramp up is working pretty well, and we're pretty close to having all of our meters be modernized and able to integrate with our software.
Well, do we anticipate spending out the 2021 budget? It looks about half spent now.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, what I had asked Matt to do in our subcommittee meeting is that if it gets up, like another month or so, and it looks like we still have work to do and maybe some budget is to encumber some funds, because really it's just buying parts.
Right.
So we'll be able to have a pretty clear picture within 3 or 4 weeks as to what we might need to carry us over into the early part of next year. So yes, they indicate that will be spent.
And Bob, it's my understanding, and Jen, maybe confirm, I mean, this is going to be an ongoing effort, because by the time we get done, there are going to be meters that are going to be over 10
Right.
years old. So this, just to be clear for the viewers at home, that this is going to be an ongoing expense and an ongoing effort, right? To maintain,
That's
to
correct.
have the meters remain current, right?
Yep. And this also foregoes having to have a capital project that, like we did years ago. This just kind of allows for an annual expenditure, continuous replacement, so everything is within the proper age. We don't really like to see meters go out beyond 10 years. They start to lose their accuracy, and it's always to the town's detriment, right? Because they slow down, they don't speed up. So it's important that they're replaced on a frequent basis.
Bob, if I may, I have a question on an earlier item.
Sure.
Always dangerous to ask a question you don't know the answer to, I suppose. But regarding tank maintenance, don't we have a tank over by the transfer station, right? Mm-hmm. And we rarely talk about that tank, and I presume it's not under the Suez maintenance contract. So where does that fit into the overall plan?
So that's a glass fused to steel tank.
Okay.
It's called Aquastore. They used to have Harvest Store that was, used out. You see them a lot in upstate New York for grain storage. And that is not a type of system that is maintained by Suez. It is a very specialty tank. And we did replace all the panels for that tank. I want to say it was in the past 10 years. I don't remember the exact year, except for the base ring. We couldn't replace that because it was a warranty issue. There was some crazing and cracking of the internal enamel. It's essentially enamel. So those were all replaced under warranty with the local distributor for Aquastore. I can't remember their name.
Okay. So we're not that far out on that tower.
No, we still need to make sure that we do the proper thing as far as flushing it and turning over water, and we do that ourselves.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for filling me in.
Laura, could I have the updated benefits number for distribution?
$147,979. $147,979.
So moved.
No, that was just benefit.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But hold that
I'm
thought.
jumping ahead.
Hold that thought.
I will.
So the updated water distribution total?
888,167. 888,167.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Aye, thank you, Chris. Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. On to treatment. We, I guess there was a little bit of a, we just, projects sort of stacked up on us last year. We weren't able to do all of the lagoon cleaning. This is in 55368. Weren't able to do that. What Matt has done is combined this item with some others, because we're going to be doing some cleaning of the clear well out at the surface water plant on Portsmouth Avenue. Why don't you give us a little bit of background on that, Matt? Just, my notes are sort of all over the place. If you could just summarize how that came about.
Sure, we didn't get a chance to do it this year. We had a couple other items come up. We had some pumps, a few pumps break this year, so we weren't able to do the clear well cleaning. And also, as part of this lagoon cleaning, it's over at the groundwater treatment plant also. We were anticipating potentially having to do something else there also, but we were able to get the state to approve utilizing our basin as a emergency/maintenance basin. So we are able to still conduct the basin cleanings from at the groundwater plant in a systematic way where we can pump it into a bag and then get the bag to go away to waste management, and it kind of keeps it all contained. As far as the clear well goes, clear well is the last place where your finished water goes at the surface water treatment plant before it gets discharged to the town. So this periodically needs to be cleaned out. There is sediment that kind of accumulates in the corners. So we have a diving company that goes down there and vacuums it all up and cleans it all up so that it's kind of clean, and making sure that there's no pockets of organics that can cause problems for our drinking water.
A question.
Judy?
Is the lagoon cleaning, the schedule for that a state requirement? Or is it just a good practice that you're following?
Which, the clear well or the groundwater treatment plant lagoon cleaning? So we have to clean all the basins. They accumulate, the groundwater treatment plant accumulates sludge in the bottom just from its cleaning processes, so we have to do that once, if not twice a year. And then the clear well, we're able to get away with maybe once every 2 to 3 years, maybe you can get away with that. But we definitely inspect it on that off year that we don't clean, just to make sure.
There's a lot of different lagoons and wells under consideration here. I think the original line a year ago was referencing the...
Larry Lane.
Oh, was it referencing the Larry Lane thing? Okay, all right.
And that was the state, remember the state was going to give us approval and they sort of waffled on it.
Yeah.
I actually wrote those words down, Matt, I think, very tightly
Because there's also
characterized
the
the state.
lagoon by Portsmouth Avenue by the surface water treatment plant.
Yeah.
Clear.
That one's getting clean now.
Oh, that one is getting clean now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was out of the capital outlay budget.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I think to answer your question, Judy, too, it's really an operational, it's a function of our operations, and it's somewhat of a judgment on when it really needs, operator and administration judgment on when it should be done. Because it is rather infrequent, it's not something that we automatically do. A lot of it has to do with, if we have For instance, when we finally started getting rain after the drought, we had a large influx of organic matter from the river watershed area. It required more chemicals than normal to remove all those organics. And whenever we do that, it winds up, some of it does pass through the treatment process and winds up in the clear well. So we have to do that cleaning.
So this isn't necessarily an externally imposed schedule, but rather your own in-house assessment of what's needed?
Yep.
Thank you.
Equipment maintenance, there are some projects on the board that Matt is working on. Then that item will be spent by the end of the year. You'll see a number of items throughout treatment that are relating to lab testing, 294 in particular, 161 and 55034 chemicals. The state has basically imposed a pretty significant increase in the levels and frequency of a lot of the metals that we have to test for. Arsenic is now needs to be at 5 parts per billion. It was at 10. 15 years ago, it was at 50. So we've reduced the levels or increased the levels by which we have to test arsenic for by, 900%. Feds have also increased the regs on manganese, lead, and copper, as well as many others. So basically our lab testing costs and the associated chemicals to treat those metals are going up. So that's the reason for the increase in those line items.
And we're anticipating fuel costs to go up for chemical delivery next year.
Any other specific questions on treatment? New benefits total.
Yes, $170,949. 170,949.
Any other questions on treatment? Updated number for treatment?
Yes.
Laura?
$846,557. 846,557.
So moved.
Second.
Chris?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you.
So for homeowners who have concerns about the water quality, what they're hearing in these budget numbers is what it costs to provide safe water for everyone.
That is correct.
And that cost continues to go up because the regulations continue to get tighter as to what constitutes safe and clean drinking water.
Good point.
This isn't your grandmother's drinking water. Tom, you had a question?
This is a great time to say, though, what a great job the water department has done with the quality of the water, in my opinion. And it's, of course, the notices that you don't receive that really attest to that.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you. I'll make sure we pass that along. They take their job very seriously.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And if I could just add to, just being a member of the subcommittee, it seems like, the staff on the water and sewer, maintenance, they're experts and they do a really good job of, they're doing these lagoon cleanings and things on their own accord to keep up the right maintenance. And so I have a little bit of background in this kind of stuff and I was impressed by how they're really keeping up with it.
Okay, any questions on the water utility debt service of $1,323,021? Entertain a motion to approve that number.
So moved.
Second.
Chris?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. On to capital outlay. Capital outlay, the lease noted there is from I think it's a 2019, the hook truck that we approved, well, at this point, 3 years ago. The vehicle capital outlay, which I guess I'd sort of forgotten in the utility, it's not part of the CIP, it's actually a part of the capital outlay. But at any rate, there were three plus vehicles that we were talking about. And they're on, the first, well, I'll go in the order of priority. First is on, what page is it, Nancy? 70A.
70A.
It's on page 70A.
I should have had that answer right off the top of
It's
my
the
head.
add-on page that came with our CIP book. It's a 2012,
That's not in here.
well, there should have been,
Yeah, I don't know
you
what.
must have used it to wipe your feet when you were. So this is a truck that's dedicated, right now, we don't have a dedicated vehicle for plowing the water facilities. This is a water only. A lot of the vehicles are split between water and sewer. This is a water only vehicle request, basically to provide the in-house maintenance for the water department for the various facilities. Again, with the groundwater treatment plant and obviously ongoing use of the aging surface water plant and going down off of Portsmouth Ave through that hill, we need some dedicated facility. We can't be at the end of the general town plowing schedule. So the subcommittee agrees with this recommendation. The next item is on page 91.
Can I just?
Oh, sure.
If anybody's looking for 70A, it was emailed to us on 9/21 and handed out on 9/29.
Okay, I'm sure I'll find it in a minute.
Email.
Look at the email, 9/21, it was emailed.
Thank you.
There, I'll let you.
It's a sign that we had too much paper and emails.
If you feel like looking at it.
Of course I do. Nothing.
So I'll just continue on with the discussion so on page 91, it's a 2014 F-150. The department's looking to replace it with a half-ton hybrid vehicle that would be more efficient for bombing around town and a tool carrier type of option. Again, in sort of keeping with the town's goal of converting as many vehicles as is reasonable to a hybrid function. And the subcommittee also agreed with that recommendation. The third was on page 87. It's a 2014 Jeep Patriot with approximately 80,000 miles on it. For being used by the utilities clerk. And the proposal was to replace it with a hybrid Escape. And given it's with a lot of the vehicles that we're looking at this year, the subcommittee thought that would be, especially with it only having 80,000 miles and being used mostly as a local vehicle, that we recommended deferring the purchase of that vehicle. And then the last one is, remind me again on the conversion, which one are we converting there, Jen? I think we're converting one of the other, is it a fire vehicle?
Well, we would have been getting rid of that if we were if we were going to replace the vehicle for the Jeep for the utilities clerk, that was going to the sewer department, or is it Jay's?
I think it was Jay's.
Jay's is going to go there. So
Yeah.
if we get the Jeep through replacement, not the Jeep, but replace the highway superintendent's vehicle. That will get rotated to the wastewater treatment plant, where we can get rid of an old Crown Vic that had been a fire department vehicle.
We're gonna have a town celebration when that happens.
Yeah, maybe we could put that in the Christmas parade.
Is it, oh, wow. Is that the last Crown Vic?
I think there's one more.
Oh, wow.
There's one more white
Oh,
one.
then the
One more.
celebration's gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
Put that in a museum with Doug's flip phone.
So the cost of that was, I think, $5,000 to make that conversion. And the subcommittee recommended that, doing that conversion. So that would bring the capital outlay vehicle cost down, pending discussion, to $78,220. Any discussions on that at all? Okay. I will entertain a motion, or I will make a motion to revise line 57009, capital outlay vehicle, to $78,220.
Second?
Any further discussion? Chris?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. 78-220. On the water system capital, last year we approved $500,000, most of which, or much of which, was dedicated to dredging out the lagoons. That has, I think, just started, right? You said when we met, that work actually has just started, which is why a lot of that line has not been spent. Other items that we had were some equipment at the surface water plant, a VFD, the high lift pump, and some groundwater filter work. And it's my understanding that much of that, if not all of it, will be done this year.
Yeah.
So that line will be spent for the most part. What we're looking to do for 2022, or what was requested, is another, again, the reason why we spent a little bit of time on the Suez discussion is Suez has made a proposal to manage and maintain the filtering system at the surface water plant on Portsmouth Avenue. Again, this facility is, depending on who's counting, anywhere from 50 to, 80 years old. Parts of it are historic, way older than that. But used as a water treatment facility, well over 50 years old. We have kept that plant alive over the last 20 years, just by some Herculean efforts by the water department and public works in general. So this is an attempt to really fine-tune that facility and manage it and maintain it so that we can maybe get another 5 to 10 years out of it before we have to worry about or deal with replacing that, which we would not. With all the other things we have going on, it's not something we want to do sooner. We'd rather do it later. So this is a similar type of setup. The first year in the Suez contract is $340,000. It would be that in the first 2 years, I think, and then and then it goes down. Is it first 3 years? 3 years, okay. And then it goes down significantly from then. I mean, they basically front-load it, which, is fine, but they're basically on call and effectively warranty all of their work and management of that equipment. Is there anything else you want to add on just what exactly they'll do for us?
I think that it's important to understand that, again, Suez takes the approach of an asset management approach with our filters. in the water treatment plant, the surface water treatment plant, and the clarifiers. And the first thing they're going to do is replace all the media, because it does get exhausted over the years. It's really important that the sand has the right granularity, so it's effectively filtering, and the same thing with the outflow clarifiers. And all of those structures have to be made tight. Outflow clarifiers, there's quite a bit of pressure, and there's a retaining screen over the top of the floating media. That all has to be repaired, re-secured. All of the basins will be stripped down and recoated and made clean. So, this is something that isn't done frequently. It's probably something that might be done ideally maybe every 10 years or so. And as Bob explained, the approach is that the town pays for that major effort over the initial 3-year period, and then it's more of a maintenance cost. It's like $80,000 approximately per year after that. But the Suez does this proactively. And if we have a failure, if we have a challenged filter, or if there's an issue with the clarifier screen, Suez is the one that comes and takes care of it. When we do that, it's we have to stop everything else that we're doing, and everybody has to be put on that, because we're taking down half the plant when we do that work. And we can only do it during the slowest production time of the year. It's a very limited time of year, and it's very challenging. So,
How often do you have those moments? Not very often.
you can't.
They're unproductive.
Your time, you guys always have something.
We've done it 5 times in my last 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had to rebuild it.
It's a lot of work. So this would be a big assist to our operations.
And we have a couple of other items that Matt has requested. Rehabbing the stadium well to the tune of about $50,000 to $50,000. That is one of the original wells. It was built, first developed in the 70s over on PEA land. Russ spent some yeoman's work 10 years ago or so getting the rights back to the town so that we could use that as part of the new groundwater plant that opened in 2015. And so now it's time to do some more significant. That well has never really produced as much as we had hoped it would from data that we had from 40, 50 years ago. And so this is an attempt to try to squeeze a little bit more water out of it if we can. There's some work to do on the Larry Lane building, the groundwater treatment plant. Again, it's 6 years old. Next year it'll be 7. Time to put some money into it, just again, to make sure that goes for another 30 years. And then the river pump station needs a little bit of work as well. So with that 125, the Suez contract's actually at 335 for the first 3 years. So that's the $60,000 for water system capital outlay. Any questions on that? Okay, so updated capital outlay total with the changes in the vehicle, Laura?
Yes, $553,550. 553,550.
So moved.
Second.
Chris?
Aye, Kevin.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ton?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Hannah?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So a new water fund total, Laura?
$4,240,178. 4,240,178.
So moved.
Second.
Chris Suter. Getting it done.
On their toes.
Getting it done. Okay, I'm assuming since you seconded it, you'll vote aye?
Vote aye.
Excellent. Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ton?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Yeah, with
Thank you.
that old water tower, maybe apply for a historic preservation grant, because it's so old.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw it out there.
So, on to sewer. Oh, actually, one final thing. Do we actually need to vote on the warrant articles yet, Russ, or for the utility? I'm imagining we do, right?
No, well, I figured those would be part of CIP night as well.
Got it.
So I don't know how much discussion you want to have about the request tonight. You've had a little bit of discussion in your prior meetings about CIP, but that's to your discretion.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about both Public Works Garage as well as West Side Drive in Corey's discussion with the department. And this is just the water and sewer part of that. The Public Works Garage will be divvied up between general fund and then water and sewer funds, as described a couple of weeks ago. And West Side Drive is that large water, sewer, and drainage improvements project to reduce II and improve overall drainage to the West Side Drive area. And this is the 192-38 is the water portion of that. So we'll approve that during CIP night. Okay, so on to sewer. Very similar issues. A lot of the various requests are very similar in water and sewer as far as consulting and various items. So in the administration end of it, we didn't really have anything specific other than a lot of the education and training is returning to pre-COVID levels, and everybody's anxious to get, plus there's more staff on board now with the new treatment plant, so there's more training and getting up to speed is required, certifications and all of that. So hopefully those accounts will be spent. Any questions on sewer admin? New benefits total, Laura?
Yes, $114,174, 114,174.
And any further discussion on admin? New number for total admin?
468,898, 468,898.
So moved.
Second.
Chris?
Right.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ton?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. In billing, again, same issues with the MuniLink software as described earlier. No other significant items on billing, but if anyone has any questions. New benefits total, Laura?
Yes, $50,394, 50394.
And a new total sewer billing number?
Sewer billing, $189,149, 189,149.
So moved.
Second. Discussion?
Discussion.
So benefits went from 26,453 to 53,994, just to be on the safe side here?
Benefits went from $50,121 to $50,394.
Oh, I'm looking in the wrong
21 to
spot.
22.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was looking in the wrong column. Never mind. Thank you.
Further discussion? Chris?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ton?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, collection. So there was notes here. Why don't you give us a little background? This is actually sort of an interesting, sort of the behind the scenes as to what it takes to keep the infrastructure in this town going. As you can see, a lot of the items here relating to I&I, infiltration and inflow, specifically pipe relining, manhole maintenance, that sort of thing, are significantly underspent year to date. And there's, as you might imagine, a really good reason for that. So Matt or Jen, if you can give us a brief history of what happened this past year and what we've been directed to do.
And I can start it off, but Matt is really our go-to person with the very day-to-day knowledge. We've had several things that we were able to identify this year that really needed to be addressed. That, you know, it's always challenging to schedule this work when it's not only convenient for us, but doable by the contractors. And this year, more than any other year, contractors have been absolutely out straight. And we're hearing back from people that even though they said they could do work this year, some monies we may have to encumber to continue work next year. So that's one piece of the story here on some of the lining. I know we're doing work as we speak in one area of town. I believe they mobilized, or they're about to mobilize to do the relining.
We met with them.
We met with them, okay. And, you know, some of this work, we can't really physically guarantee that there's funding available until we have town meeting in March. And it's just very challenging to get it all done in that 9-month period, because we don't start it in January if we don't know we have the funds for it. So this is an example of one time where we may have to, depending on what we hear, because we're meeting with them now, what their availability is and can we get it all done. Otherwise, we may have to encumber it. And for next year, I know we're looking at doing more with Clemson Pond, and we're doing some of that work this year too. The Clemson Pond, which is the lagoon at the base of J.D. Hill that does receive our overflow, our sewer overflow water. You know, we have combined sewer overflow and we have a lot of storm water. We have to have an outlet, and for many, many years, that's where the majority of it would go, is into Clemson Pond. Since we've built the new main pumping station and the force mains to the new wastewater treatment plant, those flows have significantly been reduced. But we have years of solids materials that have accumulated in Clemson Pond that need to be dredged and removed in order to allow for adequate flow. You know, we don't want those pipes to be obstructed at all. So this is, some of that money has had to be redirected to doing that work. And Matt, I'll let you talk.
So, yeah, my notes show that, you know, in 2014, we got an estimate to dredge Clemson Pond, and for a number of reasons, we just did little bits here and there as time and money was available. We updated that to $75,000 estimate, which was in our capital outlay last year, our budget for, you know, that we approved last year. As Jen had alluded to, contractors are now looking at more like in the $120,000 to $130,000 range to do that work. So we had to come up with another $50,000 to $60,000. So that's why the II and the pipe relining lines will not be spent. That money is being redirected to that work. And then, as she mentioned, the tide gate for Clemson, we're doing what, starting the engineering on that, right? Just about $10,000.
Yeah.
So there's still $60,000, $65,000 available, and Matt is reviewing a number. As you can imagine, a lot of these, there's a long list of projects that could be done. We don't like to do them all in one year because it's somewhat physically and financially untenable. But now with this money available and other projects relating to manhole maintenance not being as critical, he's looking at a job, I think, on Grove Street that potentially would be done. But again, it's all sort of an ongoing improvement project. So that's the general financial outlook for those 3 line items there.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
A study question. When you got like a tie gate on Clemson Pond, right, which is in ill repair, I think is fair characterization, right? And it needs to be repaired. Why do you need to do a study on
I'm
that?
not doing like a study, but the engineering that it's gonna take.
It really, takes engineering to,
Well, it's a 50-year-old wooden gate.
oh, so you have to like dig
And they wouldn't replace it with the
into what you
same
got
thing.
there?
The
It's
cement-
that old?
The cement is falling apart,
Yeah.
and some of the railings that the wood goes into are starting to, so,
So you really need to dig in to see how badly broken it is before you can repair it? Is that what goes on, Jen?
Yeah, it's a lot of things that go on with that particular piece. That is very old. We're also going to have to make sure that we do any permitting. Technically, that's a dam by DES language. So we have to make sure we've got their authorization to do any of that work.
Okay.
And if you look at the pump maintenance line, 55236, there are some, parts on order, or parts that will be encumbered into next year, so that line will be spent. Any other questions on collection, sewer collection? A new benefits number, Laura?
And the benefits did go down on this line due to a plan change. So the new total is $147,976, $147,976.
Thank you. Any other questions on some of the, adjusting some of the line items in this budget? New collection total.
Yes, $740,841, 740,841.
So moved.
Second.
Beat you to it.
Chris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Todd?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, treatment. It appears like a note from last year got carried over. There was some confusion when we had our subcommittee meeting on treatment, on salary and wages. The chief operator 8 months, and we all sort of looked at each other and said, wait a minute, I thought we funded this last year. So that's just a carryover note that shouldn't be there. But the increase is just due to some COLA stuff and then some adjustment, pay grade adjustments. So that 8-month thing is not the reason for the increase.
On the other hand, the good news is that we're now fully staffed, so this is it,
Right.
right?
Yes.
That is the
Yeah.
good news. So other items on treatment. This is a line 55105 equipment maintenance. This is a funny story, and by funny I mean not real funny. We have been requested by the state to do more in-depth nitrogen testing, and the nitrogen probes for this work, what do they cost again?
$20,000 per year.
$20,000, and they have a 1-year life cycle.
Oh, that's funny.
So we have to buy them every year
Wow.
to test nitrogen in the river.
Yep.
So that's, there are a number of items that are sort of loosely connected with that whole increasing our monitoring of the river and the bay. As Jen characterized to us, it's not just Great Bay that the state is interested in, they're sort of moving up the river with our monitoring efforts. So we're basically responsible for everything from well up into the Exeter River all the way down to the bay, since we have a pipe that impacts all of those areas. So That's the reason for a lot of those items, solids going up, chemicals going up, all of the lab work that's being added on as part of our new permit that was signed last year.
I have a question.
Sure.
I don't understand the general chemistry of nitrogen, relationship to oxygen and so forth. But I'm wondering if the Great Dam being removed and I would imagine it means greater oxidation in or amounts of oxygen in the river flow than had previously existed. Did that affect at all the nitrogen concentration or any of the chemistry in these flow areas?
It didn't really affect any of the nitrogen. The nitrogen loading is primarily from waste generation or stormwater runoff from land, over land. So the oxygenation did improve with the removal of the dam, and certainly the impounded water is more oxygenated. It's less of an impoundment. It's a smaller impoundment. So, but it's not oxygen at the level, say, where we treat at the wastewater treatment plant. When we remove nitrogen, it's a cycling going through a highly oxygenated cell to an anoxic or an anaerobic cell, and alternating and getting the proper bacterial populations that are established to do, the biological breakdown of the nitrogen or the biological consumption, if you essentially will, of the nitrogen. And then the nitrogen is ultimately converted to nitrogen gas and off gases. That's how it's essentially removed. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So one of the things, and we're not going to have a philosophical discussion here, but at some point over the next year, I think it'd be worthwhile having a town-wide discussion on who is exactly paying for this nitrogen monitoring, because a lot of what we're being asked to review is not just what's coming out of the pipe, it's the outfall, it's all nitrogen that's generated around the town of Exeter and that flows into the river. So this obviously is a general town-wide issue, not necessarily just a water and sewer ratepayer issue. We've had these discussions before. Obviously, there are two very distinct sides as to how you lie on it, but there are a lot of things that affect the water quality of the river. We used to just be responsible for the pipe coming out of the treatment plant and the costs associated with, and when I say we, I mean ratepayers on the utility system. Now we're being asked to monitor the nitrogen levels that are a result of poorly functioning septic systems, agricultural runoff, atmospheric nitrogen. There are a number of different nitrogen sources that now we are, as a town, are going to be responsible for in the water quality of the river and ultimately the bay. So I don't think that we're going to make a decision, certainly tonight. I don't even think the select board would rule it, but it might be worth, as a community, to start having a discussion about these delta costs, because there are over almost 7,000 people paying the bill on the town side of it and 3,600 paying for it on the water and sewer side, and we're all sort of generating the problem. So just something to think about, just as an issue down the road to occupy your time.
Late night.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to think about how you would actually allocate that,
It is, and it wouldn't be an easy thing. And again, I've had these discussions before when we were looking at financing the treatment plant. And it was actually a lot closer than you might think as far as the split goes. It wasn't, 80-20 or anything like that. It was probably 52-48 of people saying, geez, yeah, the whole town should be, part and parcel to this. But at any rate, something to think about down the road. Any other questions on treatment costs? So where are we? New benefits total, Laura.
Yes. $213,350. 213,350.
Thank you. And a new sewer treatment total.
$1,431,433. 1,431,433.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Thank you. Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Any questions on debt service items for the sewer department? I'll entertain a motion for the FY22 budget of $4,366,940.
I'll second.
Chris?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, capital outlay. A little bit easier than on the water side. The capital outlay lease is from a 2019 purchase that we made. And the general capital outlay for the wastewater plant requests are, there's a coating system on the old wastewater plant had a big basin as one of the initial tanks coming into the plant. And even though much of the old plant was demolished to make way for the new plant, this basin was kept and repurposed. And we're looking to coat that and fix up the concrete so it can become a functioning part of the new plant or an ongoing functioning part of the new plant without having to build a new facility. So that is, what are my numbers? What did I say that was? $192,000 to make that fix, and then there were a couple of other minor projects that Matt had. So that's mostly what that is. Any questions for Matt or Jen on that project?
Matt, I remember we had that discussion, but just to refresh my memory, you were pretty clear on that estimate now in terms of the proposal to do that? The technique to do that?
Yeah, this came from an engineer, so this was their estimated proposal, but again, I mean, in this climate, I can't trust any number, but
it came from an engineer.
Come
from a study and an engineer.
Yeah, a quick little study, just looking at the structural integrity of what it is, and then what the coating is will be just a normal anemic type of small coating, and then it will actually help with the hydrogen sulfide gases and stuff like that. Yes.
Thanks for reminding me.
And then the same discussion on the vehicles that we had in the water department. So we are not, as a subcommittee, are not recommending purchase of the Ford Escape Hybrid on page 87 of the CIP, which would reduce this amount by half of the cost of the vehicle, or $15,750, for a new budget total of $25,626, which I will move that amount.
Second.
Chris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ton?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. And I think that's it for capital outlay. So new number is $240,955. Is that correct, Laura?
Yes, correct.
I'll second.
Thank you. Chris?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ton?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
240 what?
240,955.
Yeah, just no change.
So that brings us down to a sewer fund total. Could you, yeah, we can do that. So what's the revised sewer fund total?
Yes, $7,438,216. 7,438,216.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you. And just a quick discussion on the warrant articles. The, again, West Side Drive, this is the sewer improvements portion of that project. The Public Works Garage. Let me ask you a question. I seem to remember in our conversations that we talked about the potential usage of the garage, and we sort of reallocated the share by the general fund, water and sewer fund a little bit from what was in here. Is that still, are you still comfortable with that? So it's basically half general fund and half water and sewer. So it's 25, and then 12.5 and 12.5, correct?
That's what we had discussed. I don't know if you've had that conversation with Russ, but that
I did.
was-
And he said that he was comfortable with that. So I think the general approach was that between highway, snow removal, the vac truck, other things, relating to stormwater, between that and then water and sewer usage, that any new garage that we have would be roughly 50-50 between, general public works and water and sewer. So we're splitting the cost of doing the planning preparatory work for the garage. So that's where those numbers, so that number will change when we discuss it during CIP. So I think that's it. We have a big night, CIP night, on Thursday, the 18th at 6:30 here. That will hopefully be our wrap-up meeting. I think we can be fairly efficient. We've sort of done the initial scrub on the projects and the vehicles through the subcommittees, which is great. Everyone did a nice job of presenting that. I will try to come up with a list, sort of a mini agenda as to, so that we won't be bouncing all over the place, and then I'll remember what exactly we have to talk about. And I'll try to get that to you sometime before 6 o'clock on Thursday, if I can.
The day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
Just a comment?
Judy?
These are always big, complicated numbers, and I just want to thank the subcommittee and Jennifer and Matt and all the others involved in putting together this budget. I think this is a record for getting through water, sewer, efficiently, effectively, getting the work done, but having the clarity of this budget and the simplicity is a work of art. It's wonderful.
Well, I think what has happened is that Matt and Jen have done a great job of educating us about what it really takes to run this thing, and the regs that they have to deal with, the cost of equipment and contractors, the labor issues that they go with. So, and I also think that they've been very honest with their budget requests. There's zero slop in any of this. They barely have enough wiggle room if there's a catastrophe. So they do a fantastic job. And the capital outlay is a way to give them a little bit of a buffer for random projects. And we've allowed them to sort of change things as they see fit, as budget requirements dictate. So thank you for acknowledging that. And I think you guys have done a fantastic job. And I appreciate the honesty of your budget request. So it worked out very well.
There in particular, I just want to, you guys are very much appreciated. This year, I think you guys always do a great job. You've known that for a long time. But this particular year has been tough on a lot of people, but you guys in particular, and you've really stepped up to the challenge, as you always do.
Thank you.
Matt's got a great team, and he knows how to make the best use of them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, for joining us. Appreciate it. And we are adjourned till Thursday evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 98 and 22. Channel 98 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 13, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.